Today we seek to answer what Marvel movie would best represent them all. Now, if it's strictly Marvel movies in general, I feel like it's a toss-up between Blade or Sam Raimi's Spider-Man for me. Blade is what laid the groundwork for every Marvel movie thereafter, whether that was the Sonyverse or the Foxverse or even the MCU itself. And Sam Raimi's Spider-Man represents the heart of Marvel and what we look towards when we desire to be a hero or a force of good. Now, if we're talking strictly MCU, then I think it boils down to two different choices for me personally. Now, for me personally, I would have to go between either Avengers Endgame or Avengers 2012. I feel like these, in my opinion, are what represents the best of what we see in the MCU and these characters that we've been following for over a decade. I say Endgame because it's the culmination of all that we've been working towards, whether it was our time, our money, or our love for the franchise. And it did what was thought to be impossible for a near decade build-up. But if I had to choose, I would choose Avengers 2012. Not as big of a build-up as Avengers Endgame, but it did what no other franchise has really done up until that point, especially on the big screen. Having all these separate characters from different movies meet up to take down a larger threat on the big screen was absolutely ludicrous at the time, and it wasn't really done at all in any franchise ever in a movie scene. Unless you can tell me, let me know in the comments if it has. Also, this movie was basically a canon event to a lot of characters' story arcs leading all the way up to Endgame. Whether it was Tony's kind of obsession of trying to put armor around the world and trying to, stave off extraterrestrial threats, or if it was like Loki's glorious purpose, or Avengers Assemble, and much, much more. And I only think it would be a hard take to be saying, but I think this was actually the peak of the Incredible Hulk feeling like an absolute threat and an absolute monster. This is also one of the last times before the MCU turned into this kind of like comedy subgenre where every movie had to have like a big comedic portions to the movie rather than being like a nice blend of action and comedy and spectacle. But the Tatari came down today and said, choose a Marvel movie to represent them all, or we destroy your planet. I think I would be choosing Avengers 2012. But that's just me in my opinion. What Marvel movie would you say is the nexus being of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I'd love to know in the comments.